Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astro Guide Mysore. Today let us understand the results of a chart or the results what the native will get because of the sun's placement in the third house. So we know the characteristics of the third house. I have already done it in my earlier videos. The third Bhava, I have given the detailed characteristics of the third Bhava. But anyway, I will just give a small, I'll repeat all those characters first. The major things, it's a Bhratru Karaka. Bhratru Karaka means it's for siblings. We see the third house for siblings. The most important thing there after that is that it is the Vikramasthana or the house of courage. And the third most important thing for the third house is it is the house of activity. You know, what actually the person would want to do would be suggested by the strength of the third house. And third house is one of the exceptions in the whole system of these 12 houses. The third house is the one which is having the highest, this particular exception. Like the 8th house has an exception, I'll come to it later, but the third house has one exception, I will just tell you. In the Jaimini Sutras, if you go, there is no argala, that is, there is no a balancing house. For example, the 4th house has a balancing house in the 10th. Too much of leisure, no work, 10th house. Too much of work, no leisure, 4th house. So that means they are balancing opposites. Same thing. The 1 and 7 is the balancing houses. The 1 is myself. If I only think of myself, I will not have a happy married life, because I will not think about my spouse. So if I only think about my spouse, then I will lose my individuality. So this is what I am trying to tell you. So the 11th house becomes the pairing balancing house for the third house. But even one planet in the third house and even 4 planets in the 11th house, the third house becomes heavier. This is what the Jaimini Sutras tell, that the third house does not have an argala. Argala means it doesn't have a counteracting balancing house in the 11th. The second will have it in the 12th, the 4th has it in the 10th, and the 6th has it in the, the 5th has it in the 9th, and 6th has it in the 8th. But one has it in the 7th. But the third house is a very strong one. It does not have a, the equal balance in the 11th. So let us go into these things in the coming days. But I'm just telling you one very important aspect of the third house, which is that it is a very strong individual house which gives very good results by itself. That one house itself will give you extraordinary Raja Yogas depending on the planetary placement. It is always said that in the third house, planets of rough in nature, rude in nature, cruel in nature. So what we call as cruel, in the sense that Krura Graha has to be posited there. It will give a lot of arm strength, body strength, muscular strength, upper body is very strong, so the person will be, well built and courageous. So now, one of the Krura Grahas is Surya, Sun. Krura, but Sattvic. He is a, Akshatriya. Akshatriya cannot go, on the horse holding the sword in his hand, charge into the battlefield and then tell I can't kill anybody. He has come there to do palya, that means he has come there to do what? He is cutting and doing some kitchen work or what? No, he is not right. He has not taken the sword to cut vegetables there or fruits. He has taken the sword to slaughter the enemy who is trying to come into our, boundary. So who is trying to cross our boundary or trying to give trouble to us. So the king, sun, is a Krura Graha but a Sattvic Graha. So such a beautiful combination here it is, that a person who has a sun in the third house will be frank and open mouthed. That means his opinions will be on the face. He will not stop for anybody. It's a honest, means dead honest person. That's what is sun in the third house. And why is it communication? Because it is the second from the second. Always the tattvas of the karakatva has to be seen from bhava to bhava. That is, whether your children are good or what would they give you, you have to see it in the ninth house. Why? It is the fifth from the fifth. The fifth house is children, santana sthana, and the fifth from the fifth is what you derive out of it, what you get out of it. What do you get from your children? The same way, the ninth is the sthana for guru, that is teacher. The ninth from the ninth is what you get out of it. What do you get out of guru's teaching? And who do take those teachings? Shishyas, that is the disciples. So that is what you see from the fifth house. So, so you are in between in that ninth, 1 and 5. I'll talk this one topic itself in a detailed way. So, in this particular topic, what I am trying to tell you here is the activity house. The house of activity is the third house, and our planet of routine. Sun means every morning exactly on time he rises in the east. So that means the native also will have that spirit and motivation to do the routine job without a simple complaint. So he can do the same job continuously. If you have a planet like Venus, a planet like Jupiter in the third house, this person can get bored within a minute. So that's why we don't want benefics in the third house. You should have malefics in the third house like the Rahu, like the Saturn, like the Mars, like the Surya. We don't want other planets there. You don't want the weak Mercury there. You don't have to be weak in your shoulders, look like a male looks like a female looks very frail. That Mercury in the third house makes the person a little weak in the upper body. So, a strong negative Surya in the third house is considered as the best placement, one of the best placements for Sun. Upachaya sthanas are good for Sun, the house of growth. So, third house is also house of growth. That means all ideas will start first emerging in the third house. It will get a shape in the fifth house. That is the third from the third. That is, if I count 3, 1, 2, 3, and from 3, if I count 1, 2, 3, and again 1, 2, 3, you get 5, fifth house. So, the ascendant, second house, third house, and from there, third house, fourth house, fifth house. So, third from third, that is Bhavat Bhava, the activity that what you derive out of your activity is the fifth house. So, now the activity is dreaming. Dreaming in the sense that not daydreaming or doing something, unnecessarily dreaming. This is real dream. It comes that I want to do this, I want to do that. Many people get this, everybody get it. But some people it is very strong. I can't live without this. I have to do this today or tomorrow in my life. I have to do this, and I will only get satisfaction if I do this one particular thing in my life. So that is the third house, because that will get a shape in the fifth house. And if that fifth house is strong, then it will get then it gets posted as a desire in the eighth house, because it is the fourth from the fifth. It is Sukhasthana for the fifth house. So that is, it is a derivation after derivations. You keep going like that, you will understand that. So the third house means a person will get an idea, or he feels comfortable in a particular place, in a particular situation, or he wants to do something. So we do not want a malefically associated benefic sitting in the third house where the person will get confused. He will not have the correct track, or he will not know where to go. So it would be better to have a strong malefic. The person will have complete devotion and determination and the goal orientation, because this is the Upachaya Sthana, the house of growth. So there are 4 houses of growth. In these 4 houses, Sun becomes stronger and stronger in each house. 3rd, 6th, 10th and 11th. These are the only 4 houses in which Sun gives benefic results. 3, 6, 10, 11, and that is why Sun is stronger and stronger and stronger in the 11th house. It gives you Sannyasa Yoga. Now, if somebody asks me, how come Sannyasa Yoga is a strong yoga, sir? Nobody wants Sannyasa Yoga. I want a good house, a beautiful couch. I want nice plants. I want pets around. I want children around. I want my wife. I want, coffee in the evening, breakfast in the morning. Everybody does that. Each and every individual on earth is doing the same thing. But to become a sannyasi is a great achievement. To remain a sannyasi is a further great achievement. To become a sannyasi is the first step. It is like carrying a balloon. You have blown the balloon, that become a sannyasi. Now you have tied the balloon, you have put a string to it, you have tied it to your hand, and now you are running through the forest of thorns. That is what is to protect yourself and be a sannyasi. The balloon can burst anytime. One single prick, balloon bursts. So there have been many sannyasis who have turned back their back to the sannyasism and they have come back and may become grihasthas once again. That means they have fallen down to ashramas. So, Sannyasa Yoga is one of the most highest elevated yogas, and that is what was searched earlier days in every chart to see whether my son becomes a sannyasi. People were yearning, they were actually praying to God that give me a son or a daughter who becomes a sannyasi or a sannyasin. Nowadays, the same, the word, it's jumbled, if you make little jumbles and this thing, sannyasin and sannyasi becomes assassins. Nowadays, these are born, kruras. We want people who have determination, the disha, that is the direction, and have the willpower and patience to lead people into the right path. How many people can do that? People don't even get off their two-wheelers when they are seeing somebody, dying on the road. That's because we know that this government will never come and help us. If you get up, get down and get involved, you are gone. Even to that extent, people are not ready to do anything now. Why should a person gain knowledge, gain elevation, gain supernatural powers, and then lead, the ignorant, innocents, some small percentage will be innocents also, ignorance, and people who are, super conscious of their ego, to lead all of them and tell them that this is the right path and this is how you have to live life. How many people can do that? Only some can do that. And the starting point is the third house. Starting point of this is the third house. So Upachaya Sthana, this is the first starting. If it goes to the sixth, means third house means self-elevation. Sixth house means elevated and now I am ready to serve. 10th house means I am elevated, I am ready to serve, and I am also ready to work and see that Kayakave Kailasa means, in Kannada, Kayakave Kailasa means work is worship. That is the level it goes in 10th. And in the 11th, he takes the responsibility of, reforming the society. That's a great thing. So, Sun in the third house is an excellent position. And let me go to the other things. Brothers or siblings, very good relationship. There will be a lot of warmth in the family. Sun will actually give a strong brotherhood or a sisterhood, or even the siblings. There will be a lot of family interrelationships going on. So it will be very nice, a very strong family network. Then third house. The next concept is 3, 7, 9, 12. 3, 7, 9, 12. That is the third house, the 7th house, the 9th house, and the 12th house are seen for travel. So now, The distance in travel increases as the number increases. Ascending order. 3. Third house short travels. 7th house business travels. 9th house pilgrimage or going on voyages. 12th house, there are two types of travels in 12th house. One is vihara, that is going abroad, going to Switzerland, going Japan, or going to some other country, or Japanese coming to India, touring, or going and settling down, immigration. And the last travel is up there, you travel. Okay, that is without the body. Now Surya is in the third house, so it will initiate short business travels, and this is an excellent position for people to get into marketing. So marketing people have to be on their toes. Surya represents pharmacology, Surya represents metallurgy, and Surya represents many other things also. Let us concentrate on 2-3 things. So Surya represents solar energy, power, electricity, heat, thermal power. It goes on. But if it is in the third house, this person will have the strength to go ahead, talk to people. He does not have any shame. He does not feel the prejudice. He does not have that, that liberty is there. He will go. He will talk to people. He knows that everybody will not take whatever he is trying to sell. Everybody will not buy it. But every time he opens his mouth and talks to a new person, he will be as though he is talking to the first time he is talking to somebody. He is as though that he is going to sell the first product. That enthusiasm doesn't come to everybody. It comes only to people who have a strong Surya in the third house or also in the sixth house, because it is also once again marketing and service. But still, third house is short travels, and it is good to have a Surya there. Boxers, professional, martial artists, even bodybuilders should have a strong sun or a Krura Graha in the third house. Or else it will be like that, you can't build a body without a bicep. Very simple it is. So every time, first time, when young kids or children or who just grow up into Kumara Avastha, that is the adolescence and the teen, they, the small hair on their mustache starts growing. They come to the mirror after they have a bath, they'll just put a towel around them, come and just see, oh, it started growing. They have gone to the gym for 2 days, they have done some dumbbells, and because of the pain, the swelling, they will see some small muscle up. Oh yeah. So this attitude of becoming masculine is Surya in the third house. So mind it, if a female has Surya in the third house, the masculine quality in the chest or the upper region or the shoulders will be broad, strong and muscular. They can also go into martial arts, they can become power lifters, they can go into boxing, they can go into trekking, climbing, cliff climbing. Everybody cannot do that, rock climbing. So people who have strong arms can go into gymnastics. Now Olympics is going on, so people should know that if you have strong arms, you can do Roman rings, you can do so many things. You can do the parallel bars. So you can do so many things. So sports activities have to be seen first from the third house, next from the sixth, and then later on I will come to that. So that is one very important thing. So we can tell on an overall, that these people are courageous, very warm-hearted people, very liberal people, highly adventurous, very strong in their, what we call as the resolve. They have a strong resolve, they don't unnecessarily get deviated. All this are pure qualities of sun. Please do not take it with all the charts, it doesn't work. Why? Because the other planets are there to disturb. It's like you telling the neighbor to put off the music, only then you can do your meditation. As good as that. He will never put off his music and you will never do your meditation. That is, it is condition oriented. Unless this sun's position in the third house is fortified, that is, there are many other planets which are supporting this particular cause of that particular position of the chart, and the ascendant lord is also having strength then. So this is applicable to all positions of planets. So if if Saturn is somewhere and he is giving very good things, then it can be actually cancelled by other planetary positions which can actually cancel it. But anyway, so I think this much is enough for today's.
Can you explain when Sun is weak and debilitated by a debilitated?
Yeah. See, it's like if Sun is in the Mula Trikona and in the third house, that happens only when our own house. That happens in Gemini ascendant when Sun is in Leo. That is one of the strongest Raj Yogas where Sun individually will give rise to a very strong Raj Yoga. So the same thing happens when for Aquarius, when Sun is in the third house, it is exalted at 10 degrees. At what, 10 degrees, right? Sun gets exalted, yes, 10 degrees Aries, and it gives rise to one of the strongest yogas. And again, in this case, it is a little, good that she has pointed out this point. This would have come in the comment. What happens to the Lagna Lord when it gets debilitated in the third house? I would have got this point. I'll explain it here itself. Sun, being the ascendant Lord in the third house, will give less confidence. The confidence, the strength will be there. The arms will be strong. The person will be tall, strong, powerful, but will have the inferiority complex. That means he needs a boost from behind. Somebody should keep telling him that you can fly to Lanka. You don't have to walk or swim through water. That's what happened when Hanuman was told that you can fly. He told us that I can't fly, man. Who told I can fly? I have never tried it. Then they, give him the upadesha. That is, they give him the preaching of. He's made remember that his old, stories of how he went flying to eat the sun. He thought that it's an apple glowing in the sky. So then he gets the power and then flies. So these people have to be given that urja. Urja means that power, the strength, the energy is there inside. It is burning, but it does not come out as the flare and flames of Leo when it is the third house or exalted Sun in the Aries. So that means debilitated Sun, it is on the simmer. We have to put it on high flame. Then you have to push that person a little bit. With little bit of pushing or goading, this person will do fantastically well in his life. So thank you very much for today's class. Please go through the Karakatvas of Sun. It will be helpful for you when you relate Sun in certain different houses.
Karakatva, the third house.
Karakatvas of the third house, Karakatvas of the Sun. So it will be interrelated to this particular video. Thank you very much.